Love and Light Collective. All right, I don't have the phone all the way like right next to me, so if I sound a little weird, that's why. I promise. This is a pillow talk. I was thinking about bringing them back, you guys. Just saying. And yeah, we're gonna do this in the morning. All right, so my A1 Day One. Do you know this used to be a series? The Pillow Talk series. It was a lot of fun for me personally. I'm not exactly sure how you guys felt about it, but I promise either way the message stands. And this is not going to be one that resonates for us all. I'm mindful of that, so I will let the cat out of the bag and tell you what's up for this one, you guys. But you know, hey, who am I to say, oh, you definitely can't get anything out of this, you know? So I really invite you to stick around and find out. Get snuggly, all right? Grab your favorite blanket, your heating pad, whatever works for these days. And you guys, fault me not. I'm on the East Coast. I know many of you too are. But for those that weren't aware, it's really freaking cold around these parts, all right? So please stay warm. Please be mindful of how you feel in body, especially those fingers, toes, things like that. Because I tell you what, I personally, the other day, I was out shoveling my car, and I had to watch because I almost didn't catch it in time that my fingers were getting a little too cold. And it was just, I was just so focused elsewhere. And I thought, man, that's kind of scary how, you know, not checking into the body, man, has consequences. Just saying, that part might be for somebody, or dare I say us all. Friendly reminder. So there's that. Now, I recently, and here's another thing, you guys, bear with your girl, okay? There have been some extenuating circumstances that have made it so that, and this is just me, like the Virgo in me trying to like, okay, justify the craziness that I know me personally I'm seeing with the channel. But you guys, sometimes you go to upload a channel, God help me. You go to upload a video and it's like easy peasy, and then other times it's like freaking pulling teeth. So things can upload ultimately out of sequence. Fault me not. You know, I'm fine on a personal note otherwise, but the situations that have been situating have been just really giving me a time, and so bear with. It's not my intention nor my preference, if I do say so myself. Like, if anyone would care, just say to not have the lack of chronicity with regards to some of these videos. And I just felt like I should address it so that, you know, y'all knew, I knew also, that things are uploading out of sequence and airing and publishing out of sequence according to, you know, maybe like obvious things. So you might hear me say on a fresh upload, like, today is such and such. It's like, no, it ain't. I know. Just go with it, okay? Oh, anyhow, all right. But on to the message, you guys. I'm back at this Crystal Tarot, Crystal Visions Tarot. It's been speaking to me since I used it for one of our last sessions. And again, I say that tongue-in-cheek because as far as when it airs and uploads, or uploads and airs, I should say, you know, maybe that's out of my hands. Who knows? So, I'm sure everyone's getting their messages and right on time, as they should. Okay, so please, I'm not intending to instill any kind of like anxiety. All right, we got enough to think about here. And somebody here is really, I mean, up in their mental space with this Nine of Swords energy, for current energies, for whom all ever. This may not be just one person, but this is somebody's situationship here. And I do want to offer you the clarity because you deserve it, okay? It's also coming through that I should. So here we go. Nine of Swords, for those that don't know, talks about, again, that anxiety, you know, the tension, the what ifs, the unsettled uneasiness. And you guys know, if you rock with that, you know, energy outside of the bounds of ease, you're really doing yourselves a disservice and asking for ultimately dis-ease, okay? And so, again, I really want to afford you this clarity, and I thank the universe, you know, even now, before I could even get this, you know, delivered, let alone uploaded and aired, that the message is received for whom all ever this is for. All right, and I'm grateful just the same for you all. Okay, thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. And thank you for those that have hit the like. If you haven't already done so, please and thank you. Okay, if you enjoy the vibe and also haven't signed up to be part of our high vibe tribe, please subscribe. It's free, right? No strings attached, no catch, no gimmick, all right? Love and light, okay? So, this person, whoever I'm speaking to, this group of people, gosh, I kind of hope not, just saying, okay? But it happens to the best of us, and I personally have been here before. You are almost wondering if you should be like hiding from God, if you should be like, you know, really kind of allowing yourself to believe this falsity, really, like we're gonna get down to this. And the falsity goes like this: well, you're asked out and all alone. Well, God's angry with you. Well, you know, there never was a God, so there never was divine forces that could ever help you. There's nothing. There's no one. There's just you. And I need you to know, even if you want to believe, you know, like, okay, it's just you, I need you to believe simultaneously just the same that you, whatever and whatever that means and is more than enough. All right? Start there at least, okay? Now, the situation is there is no severance between you and divinity, okay? Now, quite unfortunately, we can kind of believe ourselves into some things that feel like and seem like and ultimately produce fruit even, go figure, we're so powerful, that would make it seem like what we are telling ourselves, you know, even quite dynamically, is the truth, though it still remains a falsity. And again, there is no severance between you and divinity. You couldn't exist, honey. I mean, that's just really the long and the short of it. You know, if you want to get into it, all things are connecting back to that ultimate source, okay? Even blades of grass, you know? Now what? And often you walk upon or amongst blades of grass, many of you, right? How could you be that connected and not connected? You see where the, I mean, even in, you know, the realm of association or perceived association, you know, think of in the sense of crime, you know, if somebody is even perceived to be part of some form of criminal operation, you know, there is, you know, this at least stigma, let alone perhaps legal consequences for such happenings, right? So again, going back to the idea of you being completely severed from divinity, you being completely severed from God, goddess, it's not a thing. All right, so take the pressure off. Now, I'm looking at this papal figure here, and there could be some significance from this Hierophant energy card, perhaps to, I'm hearing Roman Catholic, okay, so there could be some Catholicism here. When I look closer on this depiction of the Hierophant energy, there are all types of religions here, man-made ideations, perhaps, right? Perhaps. I personally believe that, like most things, you can find what you want. Would you like to look for the truth parts? There's some in there. Would you like to look for the half-truth parts? There's some in there. Would you like to look for the bold-faced lies? There's a lot in there, right? And by in there, I'm talking most religions, you know? It just is what it is. When you have man-made energy long enough, you do have some levels of, you might say, impurities, you might say lackluster, you might say half-assedness, right? It takes all kinds, and so depending on the makeup of the individuals, the situations, as they stand, depends on a whole host of reasonings why, you know, being human doesn't necessarily add up to being that of, quote, more than enough, end quote. And so somebody here might need that reminder or the introduction, okay, we've all been there or somewhere on the path, that, you know, you are connecting to divinity such that you need not be bound to earthly things. Okay, and by earthly things, I could be talking man-made structures, organizations, etc., etc. Just saying, okay? And maybe these types of things have been on your mind with this Nine of Swords energy as well. You know, world events, current state of affairs, you know, trickling all the way down to your individualistic stability and feelings of being safe, okay? And I'm looking at this beautiful, divinely assisted Ace of Pentacles. I mean, if the Hierophant weren't enough to cover your energy, okay, which is really talking about, aside from patriarchy, you know, a high aspect of divinity, mostly masculine energy, right? And really connecting to energy of that of Swords, just like you, okay? Now you're at the Page of Pentacles because you know how for those religious folks, the Bible is quoted as saying something to the effect of, "My people perish for they not know," right? Well, kind of going back to this situation, shows on that. You know, you could sit there and believe till the cows come home that somebody really, really likes or loves you, or really, really hates your guts, right? And you can get yourself into a mindset of believability about whichever narrative or truth you'd like to adhere to, right? Does it change the rest of the situation, right? The other person that is in the situation, do they even have any awareness necessarily that you're in your head saying that they either like and or love you or hate your guts? Not necessarily, you know? So this is how you can ultimately, hopefully easily see, you guys, trying to bring this home here, that your perception really starts to create the basis of the reality that you experience, and dare I say, the truth that you experience. And again, going back to, you are co-creating this experience with source energy. So if you would like to infuse into the situation distortion, if you would like to remain stubborn about perhaps truths that you should you know, allow to fall to the wayside, they no longer are activated in your path, they no longer are of your perception, they no longer are of benefit to you, perhaps you might say. If, you know, if you're just being honest with yourself, right? And so you're being assisted and guided into this energy. Now I get the reason why you may I want to say God love you. I don't know why I'm saying God so much here in this one, but as I'm looking at this poop figure, but you know, I'm so sorry that systems and religion, as it were, have perhaps led you into some of these half-truths or falsities that have led you to believe that you are not lovable in the eyes of God. But I need you to know that that's not the case. What is going on, quite factually, is you have been feeling like you've been running for your life. You've been feeling like the sky's cracked open, falling down around you like glass, right? You have been shaking the mood and just trying to try again, trying to try differently. And you're doing a bang-up job the whole time, babe. You're just in the transformation of a lifetime, I'm going to say. I wanted to say the transformation of your life, but this is, must be one of the main, ooh, chills. I can't even get it out. For whoever I'm speaking this for, you are undergoing probably the biggest transformation that you are contracted to do in this particular lifetime. And so this is big, and this does feel quite unstable. But with this transition coming from the Eight of Wands, and it's so crazy, you guys. I never noticed this about this before, but again, maybe somebody's name is Kristen. Crystal Vision's tarot deck on the Eight of Wands, for those that have access or want to look it up. It's a bunch of unicorns, you guys. You're doing amazing. You just deserve chills. You just deserve better than you've ever known in life. That's all. In order to get to better than you've ever known, you got to get the fuck out of where you are completely, perhaps. You know? And so the choices that have been afforded onto you along the way, if any, right? You know, because maybe some of you feel like I didn't have any choices handed to me, I had to create them. Again, going back to how you're more than enough. Confirmation. 1511 on the timer. That's talking about one life-changing energy of that of 5, leaving the 111 talking about divine assisted breakthrough, new beginnings. It's talking about this Ace of Pentacles, literally. All right, so please don't get it twisted. Don't fall for the hype. All right, honor the truths as they now stand. Okay, and keep going. You got this, babe. All right, ain't no way that the divine brought you through all the way up to now just to leave you, just to make it so that just, you know, it was just all for nothing. It was just a waste of a life, a waste of a soul. If anyone ever told you anything similar to that effect, I need you to know for 1010%, in all honesty and factuality, those are lies. Okay, please, you know, stay under God's wing, as it were, right? This is somebody religious coming through for sure. Somebody coming out of a religious background, excuse me, let me more aptly state that and correct myself. To be clear. Alright, you're fine, babe. You know, I look at it this way, it's like, okay, in a life crafted where we are supposed to be in touch with our senses, which would include emotions, right? Where we are supposed to remember who we are, our sovereignty and our divinity, right? Ain't no way we're supposed to, chills on this, succumb to situationships. It does not matter if they're paying your bills or not, that lead us into tumultuous activities and experiences as well as remembrances. All right, so if you find yourself falling into that old pattern, that old system of ideation that goes like, oh, I've stepped out of the bounds of God's grace, as it were, ain't no way. That's the lie. All right, I need you to believe. Okay, you know, and hey, don't just take my word for it. All right, I am not you know, trying to say that I know everything about everything. I would never, if you ever hear me say that, please know that's probably an AI setup situation. Okay, because ain't no way I'm gonna be the one talking about I know everything. Okay, but I do know this, and this hits home personally for me, guys, because, and many of you do know, I mean, I grew up like fearing going to sleep at night. I mean, 7 years old, 9 years old, praying, God, I'm sorry if I ever hurt anybody's feelings, like, because I was taught, like, the second you know, slip away, lose your life or whatever, right, and you have not forgiven your mom, and you have not forgiven Gerald from 3rd grade who ripped your sweater, right? Like, I mean, they really just tell it like that, you know? And everybody goes, yes and amen, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, like, we're literally walking on eggshells. Why would we be connected to, let alone serve a God like that? Right? No, and we don't operate that way, do we? How could we be made in the image of a God like that? So limited in things like strength and immaturity, perhaps, right? The way that they tell that God, you know, can be if you should no longer comply to the whims and the wishes of said God. It's just so interesting that, you know, a lot more people don't question these things. Like, wait, so let me get this straight. So you're telling me, right? But let me get out of that. If you'd like to talk, if this resonates, you know, you're more than welcome to email me. You can check below any video that you find on this channel in the description box for ways in which to connect, as well as personal readings, etc. No pressure there, just thought I'd offer that up. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with your girl. This pillow talk session was not only comfy, but pretty cool, because I got to tell someone the truth, okay? And check it, and then go run tell it. You know what I'm saying? Because really more people, I really feel like, you know, they need to know and be aware you're not here for punishment to be shunned and then just killed, right? Like, I'm so sorry that it really looks that way a lot of times, you know. And I'm so sorry that people do try to get over and lie and make that reality seem like it's the truth. But the Ace of Pentacles stands for you, babe. Love and light.